All right, Rob, let's get into this article in the New York Post today, pointing out that, all you had to do was kind of look at it, the situation, but they wrote about it. Of course, 3 years ago, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving both left their teams. Durant left Golden State, where he won 2 championships in 3 years. Kyrie left Boston, where he had been since he demanded a trade from the Cavs. And they both said they were leaving to go do something special. And now their former teams are actually playing against each other in the NBA Finals. And that's been trending today and, not lost on a lot of people. So here's what I want to throw out to you. Which guy you think it looks worse in this situation between Kyrie and KD?
Neither guy. I don't think either guy was happy where they were. So people make moves. If Kyrie was happy in Boston, he would have signed there. He wasn't happy. Kevin Durant didn't feel he was treated right. I don't think either guy is looking back going, oh, wow, I can't believe it. They got there. Maybe if you're Bryce Harper when you left the Nationals and then they won the World Series the next year and you haven't won anything, you might look back. Both
you think
of those
he
guys
looked bad?
No,
Harper?
I'm saying he might look back and go,
no,
man.
I know, but do you think it was a bad look for him?
Not a bad look, but I'm saying
right after he left?
No, because if he wins at some point, he won an MVP last year. He's had a fine, time in Philadelphia. He's not the reason that they haven't won anything or gone to the World Series. But my point is, those two guys felt like they've accomplished something. They both have championships in their back pocket. They wanted to do something together. I just don't look at it that way. I think both of them were not happy in those places. So to sit back and say they should have stayed is just not realistic because I don't believe either one. Forget about the basketball. I don't think either one were happy in the situations.
Right, Rob. But let's keep it basketball because I agree. Do what you want to do. If Steph Curry wants to leave Golden State next year because he wants to live in Charlotte where he's from, fine. I agree with you. On personal reasons, guys can do what they want to do, and I'll never be critical of a guy for making a personal decision for his happiness, right? But I'm talking about basketball-wise. Nobody's talking about personal. And I think, look, I've said last week, I think it only looks bad on Durant if they win it. And people already kind of were looking sideways at his championships. Yeah, everybody knows he's a great player, and you gave him credit for being Finals MVP, and he certainly deserved it. But if they win it without him, and he hasn't even gotten past the second round. Now, 1 year he didn't play because he was injured. But I do think that will cause people who have, kind of questioned those championships in the first place to feel even stronger that way. But that said, I don't think there's any question. This is a poor reflection on Kyrie Irving. And again, straight basketball than it is on Kevin Durant. Because even if the Warriors win it, now people will look at it like, they just filled in Andrew Wiggins or Jordan Poole in for Durant and they win the championship, But I don't think anybody, Rob, is going to say they're better without Kevin Durant. Like, if Kevin Durant was still on that team, this series wouldn't even be in question. Them getting to the finals wouldn't be even in question. So even if you think those championships were cheap or they could have won it without him, and they may prove that they, will win it without him, you still got to admit they were better with Kevin Durant. Because for those 2 years, he got hurt the third year, but those 2 years he was healthy, it was just pretty much a joke. Houston did push him, and let's give him credit for that. James Harden and Chris Paul. But for the most part, it was a done deal. We all knew who was winning the championship, and they did. Kyrie, on the other hand, and here's where basketball chemistry is important. Fit, and we've been talking about this, Rob, with the Lakers and Russell Westbrook, is important. It is not always just about gathering the most talent. And the Boston Celtics, let me put it this way. Kyrie Irving is better than Marcus Smart. I get that Marcus Smart is Defensive Player of the Year and is a great defender and is a, okay offensive player. Kyrie Irving's better than him. Period. The end. But the Boston Celtics are better without Kyrie Irving. They just are. And it's all about chemistry. It's all about fit. Because if Kyrie was still there, it's very doubtful. I don't think Jason Tatum would have been able to emerge as the player he's become. I don't know that Jaylen Brown would have emerged as the player he's become. And so I think that's why if I had to choose one basketball-wise, let's keep it on that it looks worse for, is Kyrie. As great as he is individually, they're a better team without him.
I disagree. Kyrie is that kind of talent that those guys, if he would have had time, they would have all been able to adjust.
If he would have had time?
Yeah.
How much time did he need?
If they would have stayed there, Chris, I'm trying to give you my point.
I'm asking you a question. You said they had time. He had time.
No, all I know is I remember when he first got to Boston and they ran off 14 or 15 wins in a row or whatever it was. They got off to a great start with Kyrie there. And all I'm saying is if those players are truly gifted and talented, they would have figured out a way to play together and win. So I don't believe that one guy would have stumped their growth. And if Jason Tatum is a star in the NBA, he would still be a star the way Kobe found out to be a star with Shaq, and that other players wind up being stars with other players. I don't believe that. I don't think I can look and say, oh, Tatum would be a bum if Kyrie was still there.
Who said he'd be a bum?
I'm just.
You just keep it. You're going extremes. No, but that's not even. Nobody would say, but Rob, no, we're trying to have a new discussion.
It's an expression.
And you're going to bum.
It's an expression.
Nobody said Jason Tatum would be a bum. Jason Tatum showed he was a very good player. What I said was I don't think he would have emerged as the superstar he is. That's far cry from a bum.
I disagree.
That's fine, but let's disagree logically. He's a bum.
I'm just saying, I think that it's too easy to just rub your crystal ball and say, oh, if Kyrie stayed, they wouldn't be there. I just don't believe that. He's one of the best players in the league, top 75 player. I think it's too easy.
Actually, he's not a top 75 player.
It's too easy. Well, in my mind, he is. I don't care what they say on the list.
Okay. The official list
in my mind. In my mind. Yes. And
you can't go around saying he's a top 75 player.
I just think it's ridiculous to believe that Kyrie Irving would make this team worse if they had the same situation, if they had the same new coach and not the other coach and things were different, that they wouldn't be where they are. Kyrie's that kind of a player. So I disagree.
What kind of a player is he?
He is a big-time player who can make big shots. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Is Russell Westbrook a good player?
No. Talent
He's not
wins
a good player?
out.
He actually is a top 75 player.
I'm talking about Kyrie.
No, my point, you made a point
I just
that
disagree.
just throw talent
Chris,
together. Fine.
I disagree.
Well,
I just
go ahead
disagree.
and finish. Go ahead and finish.
I just think it's easy to sit here and throw your crystal ball out and say Kyrie was the problem because he's not on a team and they made it. If they lose the championship, it was because Kyrie wasn't on a team, or was it because Kyrie, if they don't win, it ain't because they didn't have a star player like Kyrie to make those big shots in big moments. It'll be some other excuse. I just think it's too easy to just point fingers at those guys. Those are talented basketball players. Kyrie's made one of the biggest shots in NBA history. He has a championship in his back pocket. During the NBA Finals against these Golden State Warriors, he averaged 28 points a game. He's a really good player who played with a great player in LeBron and was able to flourish. I just dismiss this whole notion.
Rob, it's called analysis. You said he's talented players. They would have figured it out. Okay, LeBron James is talented. Anthony Davis is talented. And Russell Westbrook is talented. Those really are 3 top 75 players. And they can't make it work. Because it's not always, let's just grab the most talent. It's about chemistry. It's about fit. It's about styles of play. And that's what I'm pointing out. Nobody's saying Jason Tatum would be a bum if Kyrie Irving was there. Nobody's saying Kyrie Irving isn't a phenomenal player. I've been saying for years, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he was not a fit with that team. And I think largely it was more personality and things like that. But he wasn't a fit. They went, you can talk about all you want, a regular season run. Well, that ain't what it's all about. It's about a playoff run. And they went to the conference finals, took Cleveland 7 games with LeBron, without Kyrie. And the very next season when he's there, they lose in 5 to Milwaukee. So we got evidence. This is not a crystal ball. Don't belittle analysis like crystal ball. We actually can talk about facts. And this doesn't mean Kyrie's not great, but it means the fit was not right. And that's evident because, we have the proof.
But that doesn't mean because it didn't work one year that it might not have worked down there when you change coaches,
when
Chris,
you look at
and you change philosophies. All I'm saying is just because it didn't work one year doesn't mean it couldn't work in time. A lot of teams, their first year through or second year through or third year through, they don't get there, and then they all of a sudden it clicks or they get the right situation.
Demonstrably
That's
worse.
all I'm saying.
They got demonstrably worse.
All right, I disagree
with you. You disagree with facts. From 7 games in the conference finals.
It ain't
no,
a
it's
fact.
not. It's a fact. Here's a fact.
I disagree with you. That's
fine.
all.
You're disagreeing with facts. This is not me.
With you.
This is a fact.
It's your opinion.
Rob, can I finish? Did I interrupt you? No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did 2 times. Go ahead.
It is a fact that without Kyrie Irving, they went to the conference finals 7 games. It is a fact that when Kyrie came back, they lost in 5 in the second round. It is a fact that the very next year after Kyrie left, they went back to the conference finals.
Did they win?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that mean that
maybe they
would have
won. Maybe they would have won with Kyrie those 2 years, Chris.
Rob, what is Kyrie?
Maybe they would have won.
What is Kyrie? I mean,
he won LeBron. The biggest 3-1 comeback in the history of the NBA is what Kyrie won. That's all I'm saying.
Rob, Kyrie was a great number 2 to LeBron. LeBron was able to control that team and help Kyrie shine, and Kyrie's great in his own right. But without LeBron James, Kyrie hasn't won anything. He hasn't even come close. He hasn't even been to the conference finals. Cleveland was bad before LeBron got there with Kyrie. Shining, all-star, all that. Kyrie leaves. Boston doesn't do much. Kyrie's in Brooklyn. Brooklyn doesn't do much. So these are facts. These are not feelings. You're getting feelings and all that. That's cool.
Chris, whenever somebody disagrees with you. No, it's not.
You're disagreeing with facts.
It's not.
You're throwing out crystal ball.
No,
you're throwing
it's
out
not.
cliches. Nobody say Jason Tatum would be a bum. I mean, you're not arguing logically.
No, because it doesn't fit your narrative. It doesn't fit your narrative.
It's not a narrative. I just told you facts.
And when they lose the finals, you're going to say that they're better without Kyrie? No, yeah, they're better. That's why they lost to the finals. Kyrie. No, it's about winning. It ain't about going. It's about winning.
Okay.
Kyrie won.
This is Rob's analysis. Crystal ball. Jason Tatum's a bum. Kyrie's a top 75 player.
No, I just don't.
That's your analysis.
No,
you said
no.
every single thing I just said. You said.
All I don't
That's
do
a
is
fact.
come on.
I didn't say anything that wasn't a fact.
Is every time let's pile on.
Unbelievable.
Let's pile on Kevin
It's not
Durant
piling
and Kyrie.
on. It's talking about facts.
Every time something doesn't go
You
right,
can't. You don't want to argue logically.
Forget
you
about
just wanna
the
sit
injuries
there,
in Brooklyn.
What if
Forget
Durant
about all
wins
that.
it next
None
year?
of that matters. None of
What
that
if-
stuff matters. They haven't even had a healthy team for 3 years, and you're going to sit here and try to paint a picture that Brooklyn's been a disaster because they've had all their pieces, they've had everything, and they
For
haven't
whatever,
won.
there's
That's
many
not the
reasons,
reason.
but they
That's
have
not
been
the
a disaster. It's been terrible.
It ain't, but it ain't
And
based
yeah,
on
injuries
just
has
those
been
two
a part
players.
for sure.
Come on now.
But it's
Be
been
real.
it's based on those two. It's
real.
based on
Be
Harden. It's
real.
based on Simmons. I mean, the one it's really not based on is Durant. That's the one it's not based on. Everybody else is based on.